A new standard is coming in Eugene. I have titled Oregon the Golden Egg, and I'll tell you why in a second, but I just want to quote Dan Lanning here for a second. I think Oregon cemented itself as a premier program in college football. That was a month ago, a little over a month ago, and I don't think he's wrong because I call Oregon the Golden Egg currently. With this whole new era of college football, we are kind of, I guess, the Wild West era, which I like to call it before we get into it. I don't think there's another program in college football more prepared and really just I'm trying to find the right word, just ready to excel in this era than Oregon. First off, you got Dan Lanning, who I think is going to bring more of an SEC physical, which he kind of already has, style to your program and emphasize the line of scrimmage. First off, Oregon recruits nationally, and it's really the only school on the West. Like, Oregon is kind of like an SEC school, and I know people can call me stupid, whatever. The passion, the success is there. Dan Lanning is there, who will be, I believe, is the next up-and-coming great of college football at Oregon. You're going into this new conference where you're kind of positioned to take over or be there with Ohio State, and you can kind of, that game against Ohio State, you can kind of set that tone nationally where everyone's like, all right, fellas, we might have a new big dog on the block, which you do, but you got to win that game, obviously. But what I'm saying, I just want to say Dan Lanning is going to create Oregon into a monster. Plain and simple. The program is going to be elevated to a new standard. Oregon has always been, like, since the mid 90s, and they've had their chances. They've been successful, and they've done, I mean, just countless double-digit win seasons over the last decade. Just always been successful. But they've been that one that's kind of floating, you know, like they're in, they're there, they're there. Oh, they had their two chances, they fell. People make the joke, the no championships with the logo. But in this new era, Oregon is set to, I think Oregon realistically can become a top 5 job in college football with the way NIL is now, the buy-in that Oregon has, the facilities are as good as anybody. The NIL, I can't even imagine. I'm not like the expert on NIL, but Oregon should be able to be up there with anyone. You can recruit nationally. Oregon gives that fun vibe to the younger kids, the uniforms and everything, which I don't really like the uniforms, but don't hate me. Just kids love that stuff, man. And then you have a coach who guys would want to go play for and has shown success early. And the kind of style he's bringing is going to bring you a lot of success. Oregon's going to be able to get players. Oregon's going to be able to do these things. But now you have a coach who I think is going to elevate this program to a new standard. And you're like, well, they've already been to a national championship before. They haven't won one. They've been doing successful conference championships. Yes. But what I think this new standard is cementing Oregon under Dan Lanning's tenure, as it may take a decade to get it there or whatever. But in this new college football world we're going to, and NIL and everything else, I think Oregon is going to take over the Big Ten. I think Oregon is going to slowly move their way up that pedestal, and I think they'll probably get a national championship or two under Lanning. And I think they're going to be a top 5 job in college football in a few years, maybe a decade, just a little bit over. It could be less. It could come quicker than I think. But I really think Oregon is the golden egg of college football, where they got Dan Lanning there in this new era of college football, all kind of coming in together at the right time. It's just a gut feeling I have. You can call me an idiot. I could be wrong. But I think there's a high ceiling, and I think there's a new standard coming in Eugene that is just going to elevate this program. Definition of success at Oregon will be a lot different in a few years than what it is now. Oregon is already one of the best programs in the country, but I believe a little bit longer into Dan Lanning's tenure, you're going to be a top 5 program nationally. Just wait, man. Just wait. Oregon is the golden egg in this new NIL era, and it's setting up great for them.